When is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do to fix myself before I'm just allowed to be happy, before I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me? How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait?
Welcome back, or welcome to Uncle ABL, and in today's video we're talking about a clip that has taken social media by storm. It's about a young lady, 29 years old, complaining about her dating life, saying, hey, how much longer must I wait? How much longer must I pray? When will my guy, well, she didn't even say guy, she said person, when will my person show up and be a part of my life? Look, I got the career, I got this, I got that, I got all the third. All that I'm missing is that one piece to fit into my life. Where's this person? Now, what she said, there's some things we could talk about in that, but the most important thing here is the reaction from the general public. Oh my goodness. A lot of your Christian conservative women show that they don't know anything about men. Well, they know what they know, but they don't know what they don't know. And when we're trying to communicate with these people that are on the internet, a lot of these influencers, it's like talking at a brick wall. They don't understand what men go through. They don't understand the dating lives of men. They think it's the same for men as it is for women, and it's not. It is not. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. After we get done watching the clip, I'm going to read some of the reactions. They may shock you. To me, they're not going to shock me, but they may shock you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Quick question. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I am so sick and tired of just everything right now. Everyone is so quick to say, stop doing this, stop thinking like this, stop telling me I'm wrong.
So basically, before we go any further, I'm sorry for the speech pattern, the TikTok cadence. I apologize for that. But she's saying that she's getting advice from people about how to get a man, how to get a person. She didn't say man, as far as I know. She says person. She's getting advice, and people are telling her, okay, do this, do this, do this. And she's not really trying to hear it anymore.
I have literally convinced myself at this point, based on everything that everyone's telling me, my therapist, my family, my friends, that I'm just doing everything wrong. I'm healing wrong. I'm thinking wrong. I'm training wrong. I'm doing relationships wrong. Everything I do is fucking wrong. And I'm so sick of it. Stop comparing. It's not even about comparison. Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly. It's literally not about anyone else. It's just about me and what I want.
I'm glad she was able to admit that it's about her and nobody else, because on the internet, people that were reacting to this video were talking about, oh, it's the men, blame them, all this and that and the third. She's saying right here, it's not about anybody else other than me. So I'm glad she's self-aware, unlike some people out here, but I digress.
And being fucking over the fact that I don't have it. I feel like I have done so much work on myself. I have built a beautiful life for myself. I'm happy with my life where I'm at, my job. I'm successful. I'm independent. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I take such good care of myself. Truly, the only thing I'm missing in my life is someone to enjoy it with.
Now, I did look at her social media profile, and she looks pretty in shape, pretty fit. Like she's, being active. She's not some kind of bump in the log, no couch potato. So I'll give her credit for that.
And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do to fix myself before I'm just allowed to be happy, before I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me? How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait? I feel like I'm being punished for something I didn't do. And I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't expect a lot. I just want love in my life so bad. I want my life partner. Am I just supposed to be alone? Like, is that the message? That this beautiful life I've built for myself, like, it's just supposed to be me in it alone? Like, I know I have my dog and I love him so much, but like, I need love. All of my friends have their fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands that they prioritize. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been left behind. And I really just want to find that person that matches my energy and wants to build a life with me. Is that so hard?
So there we have it. Young ladies talking about a lot of different things. Now there's a lot there. Here's a question. If all your friends and whatnot around you have their boyfriends or husbands or whatever, why don't you have it? You appear to have a friend circle. You're social. You do things. You're not a bad looking young lady. Okay, so you're in shape. You're fit. What's the problem? What have you been doing your entire adulthood? That's my main question. Before we get to the reactions, what have you been doing your entire adulthood? You're 29 years old. You might turn 30 this year. That means you're 2 years past your 10-year high school reunion. What have you been doing your whole adult life from 18 up until now? And even in high school, okay, have you had boyfriends, situationships? What have you been doing with yourself all this time, aside from just building your life up? Okay, now let's get to some of the reactions because these are crazy. They're really just all over the place. Okay, now let me just get this screen right here. That's much better. Okay, this is from Alex Clark. Okay, this is like a conservative person with a social media platform. How many followers we got, Alex? We have 74,000 on Twitter. So here's what she says. Over half of men 18 to 29 have willingly opted out of the dating pool entirely. No marriage, dating, hooking up, they're just out. It's fascinating to me the amount of blame placed on single women who literally say they want to be married and yet no accountability to the men. Now, here's the question. Why do you think all these guys have opted out? Why? I mean, do you think men don't like women? Is that it? Do you think men just want to play video games rather than dealing with women? Like, what's the reason why they've opted out? Now, I gave my response and I got quite a few positive reactions. Here's what I said. All these women who say they want to be married all want the same guy. Guys realize they cannot compete and simply opt out. Some guys return to dating once they've achieved a certain financial status, but they often find alternatives like leaving the country. And that is 100% facts. And then when we do that, then you get the label of passport bro and you're doing sex tourism, all this, that, and the third, when in reality, you're trying to do the same thing that she's doing, which is find love. And you're having a hard time in the States. You're constantly getting rejected. You're not getting dating app matches. Nothing is working. So you go monk mode, no dating, no nothing for years or however long it is. You build your money up, build yourself up. You become more desirable, more attractive. Now you come back to the dating pool and your options are wide open rather than going back to the very same women who did not appreciate you, ignored you or whatever. Okay, let me go over here and get with something else. Let me try to do something else. Even if you don't leave the country, you might just not deal with that individual. Okay, you go and find better because now you make the rules. Okay, that's what's happening. Now here's something else. Somebody reacted and said all these women holding out for 6 foot tall guys who make $100,000 a year are going to have a rude awakening. And by the way, that's my category. I'm above 6 foot and I make six figures. That's me. That's ABL right now. So I see it. I understand what's going on. And even me, being how I look and being my size and all of that, I still had to go through a monk mode because I was having issues. Okay, I still been divorced. So we're not immune from it. We're not immune to it. But I see just how many women flock. I mean, a dating app, I've had dating apps and whatnot, and I get overwhelmed because of my physical stature, and I appear to have money. Once you got those two things, you can do whatever you want. And if you don't have those things, it's going to be a struggle. It's to the point where a lot of guys are simply getting ignored. And women, all they see is guys like me and other 6 foot tall baseball player, football player. All they see is those guys. They don't even see the guy working at Dunkin' Donuts. They don't see the valet driver. They don't see the hotel clerk. They don't see anything other than who they're attracted to. But these men that are invisible to you, they're people. They're real human beings. And they have wants and desires like everybody else. So what do those guys do? You're going to blame them, guys you would never look at, for your lack of being able to find somebody? It doesn't make any sense, but let's keep on going. So that's what that person said about the 100,000 or whatever. And then the young lady responded, imagine my surprise to watch this whole video and not hear her mention anything about a man's height or salary. She didn't have to. We already know what it is because, again, you have been an adult for the better part of like over a decade, probably closer to 12 years. You've probably been dating since high school. You've been dating for 15 years. What have you accomplished in that time? Hannah Cox, another blue check. How many? 80,000 followers. I'm so tired of seeing people dunk on women like this. Number one, many women would gladly get married at any age. Few men are pursuing that in their 20s. Start talking to them. Is it that few men are pursuing marriage in their 20s, or is it few men of the pool that you see are pursuing marriage? Which one is it? That's two different things. I digress. Number two, when women don't find someone early on, we tell them it's about them. They need to work on themselves, be okay on their own, pursue their own interests, and many do. They use that time and become successful in work, financially, well-rounded with hobbies and social circles. And then people say they can find a man because they're a boss baby asking for too much. What they should be asking for is why men aren't leveling up during their single time. Most women don't have crazy high standards, LOL. I'm astounded at the things that many women put up with and accept. Well, women put up with and accept things from guys that they want. The problem is they don't want most guys. That's the issue. They're not just dealing with any old ragamuffin. They're dealing with the 6'8", 15-foot long Johnson guy that has all women after him. And they're going to put up with him dealing with that girl and that girl and that girl because he's a 9 or a 10 and she's a 6. That's how it works. Don't you understand? But again, all they see is these guys. They see the pro athlete, the mogul, the guy with the boat. They don't see the regular guy working the regular job. That guy is totally invisible. So in their brilliant minds, they don't count. Okay, let's keep on going. The bar is pretty low and men still aren't reaching it much of the time. Furthermore, why someone who has used their time to improve themselves and get ahead in life want to settle for someone who is beneath them and hasn't done the same? It doesn't add up. As Ayn Rand wrote, long-lasting love requires admiration for one another, and you simply can't admire someone who is beneath you. So when you say beneath you, what does that mean? Okay, you make 175,000, he makes 125,000, he's beneath you. But if I make 175 and she makes 35, do I say she's beneath me? No, I don't. What does that really mean, beneath you? And again, these people, a lot of them Christian conservatives, okay? All right, look at this. Base politics, a lot of, conservative women, not even liberals. So number three, overall, I'm over this conversation centering on these women and trying to bully them into taking scraps instead of focusing on what needs to happen so that men keep up and become desirable and emotionally available partners in a playing field where genders are equal. We're not going back to the past. The majority of women are not falling for these tactics or willingly going back to unequal partnerships. So it's time to start talking about the future and how to create society where men and women alike benefit from one another in equal ways. This is a feminist talking point right here from a conservative person. This is a good one. Anyone making excuses for her is the enemy. This was the most selfish monologue I've ever heard in my life and is a clear indicator as to why she remains single. Everyone in her life is telling her to do something different and she has zero desire to hear it. Exactly. The people around her that are successful in relationships are trying to tell her, hey, do this, do that. Well, look, it's not working because I don't want to do it. All right. She wants to go her own way, do her own thing, hold out for that alpha Chad. Now, you 40 years old with your dog. I mean, if that's what it is and that's what it is, that's your decision and nobody else's. You even said it. It's your decision. And then here's one of the best comments from a man, of course. Eric Reed says, it's almost like, hear me out. Harrison Butker's point in his commencement speech has grounding in reality, biology, and God's design. There we have it. There we have it. And if you don't know about Harrison Butker, Kansas City Chiefs kicker did a commencement speech at Benedictine College in Kansas, and one of his things that he was talking about was women should enjoy their vocation of being a homemaker and having their children and whatnot. But as I close, I want to say this. That video was crazy, and the craziest thing was the reactions, because it just goes to show women don't understand what men go through. Listen, most men will take whatever we can get. We're not so picky like that. We don't have these super high, unrealistic standards. A woman would get on a dating show and she will have 15 kids by 18 guys. She'll weigh 1,000 pounds. She'll be 47 years old. And she will, with a dead straight on face, tell Kendra G or whoever it is, yeah, the guy I want to get with got to have a 6-pack abs. He's got to be 15 foot long downstairs. He's got to make $100,000 a year. Matter of fact, he's got to make $500,000 and he can't have any kids. They will do this. Now, I'm exaggerating, but not really. The thing I hear the most on these dating shows from all women, he's got to be above 6 foot, beyond 6 figures, and he's got to have at least 6 downstairs. That's what I always hear. This is unrealistic. It's like me going on a dating show and saying, hey, you know what? She's got to be 5'11", 135 pounds, no body fat, athletic, play basketball, shoot dice, fight, shoot guns. She has to have a 0 body count, be a virgin with the hymen intact. Okay. She got to have all of that. That's dumb. That's not realistic. Men are more realistic. We're not so idealistic like so many women. And the problem is this idealism, this fantasy gets put onto us like we're just not doing enough. Hey, you know what? Since it's not enough guys that are above 6 foot tall, which how you going to control that? What you going to do? Level up to get beyond 6 foot? It's not that many guys that are rich, which if everybody was rich, then it wouldn't be a thing called rich. Since most guys don't have these rare things, then they just dusty and they got to step it up. Meanwhile, men understand that they're not really going to be able to get the most beautiful girl in the world, a supermodel, something you would see in TV or Instagram. We understand that. We're going to like those women. Yeah, sure. But we know in reality, that's just not how it works when you're talking about trying to find a mate. We know that, but they don't. And that's the disconnect right there. Men have a much harder time being able to find women than men have a time being able to find men. We're just not as picky. We don't have super high standards. They do. It's their fault, not ours. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.